Hi, Sobriety Warriors. Lisa here again with another video. And here we don't just stay sober, we take our lives back. Whether you're day one or day 1000, you're in the right place. Dixie, Dixie, come here, baby. Um, if you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about recovery, healing, and rebuilding your life that you don't have to escape from. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you don't miss out. Hey everyone, welcome back. I know I owe you guys an apology. I haven't posted a video in a while, and I have been promising you this series on each of the 12 steps for a while now. As some of you may know, I started going to college for majoring in psychology, specializing in addiction. And I'm almost through my first trimester. I'm doing really good. I got an A, yay! And I missed your beautiful, handsome faces so much. And you guys are amazing and wonderful, and I love each and every one of you. And so does Dixie. I see you're still fighting like the warrior you are. I'm glad you're here because today we're going to start this series off right with, you guessed it, the first step of the 12 steps. This will be a part of a 12 video series, of course. Step one, I'm going to be real with you here and tell you that step one is the foundation of everything. If step one doesn't sink in, the rest of the steps are not going to stick. So let's take our time with it, and I will try to explain it to you and break it down to you as best as I know how to. I'm not a licensed professional. I am a recovering addict, just like many of you. I'm going to school for psychology, specializing in addiction, but I have no certifications or anything like that. I just like connecting with you guys, and I love hearing you guys' stories, and I love helping you, and I just love helping others fight through what I've been fighting through, and just kind of build a community of people that are compassionate, understanding, and have lived that life experience to help each other. And so we all come together for the same cause. Um, Step one says, we admitted we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. Dixie, come here, baby. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Look, she likes to bite on me. Say hi. Say, I'm the sobriety warrior puppy. I'm the sobriety warrior puppy, and I'm teething. But yeah, that's Dixie. Say hi, Dixie. Say hi, Dixie. She's being a little brat. So that sounds simple enough to admit that we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. But this step is deep, it's emotional, it's uncomfortable, and for a lot of us, it's the hardest one because none of us want to admit we are an addict and that we can't manage our own lives because of it. So the first thing I want to talk about in the step one is, what does powerless mean? Let's start here because the word powerless trips a lot of people up, and it doesn't mean you're weak or you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you have no value or you're a lost cause. What it does mean is this, and this only: you can't control your addiction. Have you ever said things to yourself like, this is the last time, I'll only do a little, I'll do it in a different way this time, or I'll do less? Then that's what it means. I used to tell myself all the time, I'll quit tomorrow. But today I'm going to do it, but I'll quit tomorrow. And tomorrow never came, and I never quit, and till I went to jail and was in there for 6 months, and then went to rehab and realized I like being sober a whole lot better than I do chasing that high. Um, Somehow, when you told yourself these things, it always took you further than you had planned, and that's powerlessness. It's not about your strength as a person. It's about the nature of addiction. The lie we told ourselves that kept us stuck in the cycle of addiction. Most of us didn't walk into addiction thinking we would lose everything. Um, we just ended up, most of us ended up losing everything. I mean, I guess there's some people who didn't end up losing everything, but for the most part, when you are in addiction, you lose everything. You trade everything. You lose everything, whether it be yourself in the process because all you can think about is getting that next high, or you lose, like physical things like your house or like car or your job or just things like that because you're too focused on doing that next thing to get your next buzz, and you're not focused on your life, and you can't manage your life the way you should, so it ends up destroying your everything you have. um I used to tell myself things like, I got this under control, I'm not addicted, I can stop whenever I want to, um I'm not that bad. Or in my case, for real, it was it helps my depression better than antidepressants do. Which at the time, yeah, it did at the beginning. Towards the end, it was a nightmare, and I wasn't doing the drug anymore. It was doing me. Um, but if you really be honest with yourself, it was that bad. So step one is about getting honest, not with the world, but with ourselves, and letting ourselves know, hey, this is a problem. Um, I know it's a problem, and I'm going to do something about it. And in that moment, you realize that you're willing to do something different than just being in that cycle of addiction. Dixie, Dixie, I know, honey. You want to go outside the window, looking out the window. Because denial is what keeps us stuck. And I know the word denial gets thrown around a lot, but denial really looks like making excuses, blaming others, minimizing the damage we cause to ourselves and others, because we don't just hurt ourselves, we hurt our family, we hurt our kids, we hurt our friends, and it takes over. Um, we compare our addiction to other people who are worse off than us. And we say things like, at least I can keep a job, I'm not like them. I didn't lose my home, I pay my bills, I'm not like them. But addiction isn't a competition to see who can do it better. It's pain. And pain is still pain no matter how you look at it. It hurts, and it hurts everyone around you. Um, so the next part of step one is, and what does it mean that your life has become unmanageable? So this is where it gets real. Unmanageable doesn't mean everything just fell apart, although for most of us it did. Um, Sometimes unmanageable looks like constant anxiety, broken relationships, financial stress, legal trouble, hiding things, lying, feeling empty, even when everything is all right on the outside. There's nothing's all right on the inside. Um, you were exhausted, but you couldn't stop. You were hurting, but you kept doing it to yourself. Um, you knew it was destroying you, but you still reached for it. That's what unmanageability is. Dixie, Honey, I'm trying to video and you just whiny. Um, it's that feeling of being trapped in a cycle you can't break on your own. Um, Here's the truth a lot of us had to face. If willpower was enough, we would, we'd all be off of it. If willpower was enough, we would have stopped already. Um, Thinking back on how many times you tried to quit on your own, how many promises you made to yourself and others, to God, to your kids, to your family, and it still pulled you back in. All those promises just shattered like glass. Um, that's not because you didn't care or you didn't try to keep those promises. It's because addiction is stronger than willpower alone. And step one is where we stop fighting that realization and we finally accept it. Step one is the doorway to the other 11 steps. Because as long as we think we can handle this on our own, we won't reach for the help we need. So as long as you can admit that you have a problem and you're not stuck in denial, that's when you can really start the 12 steps and start healing and start realizing that, you know, things are not perfect. Things are messed up. Things are, hi, Dixie, honey. Things are not going the way that you had planned or the way that, normal people, which I say normal people, but normal is like the setting on a washing machine. So I don't know what normal means. I'm not normal. But you know what I'm saying, normal people. Um, so recovery requires help. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it by yourself. Um, it's always good to have a support group. Go to meetings. Go to even church. Going to church sometimes helps. If you don't like meetings and you don't like hearing the whole recovery thing over and over and over again, go to church. Praise God. Or if you're not, if you don't praise God or you're not religious, just a higher power of you choosing, you know, whatever whatever you want to do or whatever you want to pray to, that is fine with me. I am not against any of it. Um, it's whatever. It's you, and you know who you believe in or who you don't believe in. Um, so step one breaks the illusion. Dixie breaks the illusion that we have it under control. Honey, what's wrong with you? Huh? It breaks the illusion that we have it under control. It humbles us, not to shame us, but to open us up to a better way of living life, a more fulfillment life, a more life of happiness. I've never been this happy in my whole life as I've been helping others and talking to you guys and running the Sobriety Warriors page on Facebook and just connecting with you guys and hearing your stories and your struggles really helps me, and I love talking to you guys about it. Dixie, you're on the tripod, Hank. And so because once you admit I can't do this alone and I need help, you become willing to try something different and try to better yourself. You let go of your ego and pride that says I don't need help, I can figure this out, I got this, I'm not like them. And by them, I mean other addicts um, that are so called worse off than you again. Um, but recovery asks us to put that aside, and that's hard because, especially if you've always had to be the strong one, and if you've been through things that you had to survive on your own. But there's strength in asking for help. Um, There's courage in admitting you can't control your addiction. Step one is not about breaking you down, it's about breaking those chains that kept you stuck. Um, for a lot of people, step one comes after rock bottom. Rock bottom sometimes is not losing everything. Maybe it's this moment right here where you admit you don't have the control over addiction like you thought you did. Um, when you admit you're tired, or when you're just over it, you're just over chasing that high, or having a substance to get you through the day. When you realize you can't keep living like this, that's enough. That's enough for you to say, hey, I'm powerless over this. I can't stop. I need help. Um, you don't have to be sitting in a jail cell and lose all of it to choose something better for yourself. Even though that's what it took for me, it doesn't have to be that way for you. Um, if you haven't had jail time, or you haven't lost everything yet, and you know that you have a problem, the best thing that I can recommend to you to do is get help. Um, Go to IOP classes, or if you think you need something stronger than IOP, go to treatment. Go to like a 90-day treatment, or whatever you feel is going to help you the most. I mean, I've seen a lot of people go into 90-day treatment or 30-day treatment, and they wasn't ready to come back out, but they did, and they end up relapsing. Relapsing is not a bad thing. It's just um, the more time you spend in inpatient treatment, the more it prepares you for when you get out and you have those coping skills and you realize what triggers you. It gives you more time for your mind to heal, because substances, mess up your mind. Um, like it takes, like for meth, it takes like a year after your last um, use to get your mind back. And some people don't even come back. Some people just lose their mind completely, and it's really sad. Seeing people like that, seeing people completely lose their mind when they once was so smart, and could do things on their own, and now they talk to shadow people, or things like that. um, Admitting isn't just saying the words, it's feeling it. This is a big one, because when you say the words out loud and say, I'm powerless over my addiction and my life has become unmanageable and I need help, it's not just saying it. You have to feel it. You have to feel the weight of addiction, for it to actually sink in. Um, if you tried to control it and failed, it took everything away from you, more than you ever expected it to. Your life wasn't working in addiction, and it's okay if it hurts. I know one of the biggest hurts that I have, that still hurts me till this day, is the fact that when my kids got took, I couldn't stop. I tried. I tried to do the drug tests that they recommended me to do. I tried everything, and I just couldn't stop. I love my kids. I love my kids to death, but I just couldn't do it for them. And once they took them, it was like open door, because I was like, I don't have nothing anymore. I don't have the things I love. I don't have the people I love around me. Um, so it does hurt admitting those things and saying those things out loud to yourself, because honesty is what's going to begin your healing. And sometimes healing hurts. Sometimes healing is not going to be easy. It's gonna hurt worse than the addiction did. For me, it did. Just for me to admit that it was my fault that I lost my kids, was a big deal for me. For me to say that out loud, it hurt. Um, Step one is actually supposed to free you. You finally stop pretending you have control and making excuses for your addiction. I used to make the excuse all the time, like I said before. Um, Meth is better than my antidepressants that they put me on, and it helps my depression. Of course, it helped my depression when I had it, but then when I didn't have it, it was way worse. My depression was worse than I'd ever had depression before. I felt like I couldn't get out of bed without meth. I felt like I couldn't play with my children without meth. I couldn't have the energy to do anything without meth. So after you realize and you free yourself of those chains and that cycle, and you admit to yourself that you can't do this on your own and that you can't stop and you can't control it. Um, you 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 stop blaming yourself and shaming yourself for not being in control over your addiction. You stop fighting a battle that you were never meant to win alone. Um, I know there are some people out there who quit cold turkey, didn't have any rehab, anything like that, just quit. But it took a big event like losing a spouse, or like you losing a spouse to an overdose or anything like that, for them to realize, hey, that could happen to me, and I don't want to live this life no more. But that's very rare. um, I haven't seen that many people just drop it without any sort of treatment. But there are people out there that do. Um, but once you admit that, that opens the door to a new type of thinking. So something different, something you haven't tried before, something you was you didn't know you needed, and that was help. You're not alone in this. If you're watching this and you're thinking that sounds just like me, I want you to know that there are others just like you, just addicted to different things, or maybe they may be addicted to the same thing as you. Substances are in all forms. You can be addicted to anything, but drugs are the most mind altering addictions that you can have. I mean, you can have an addiction to Red Bull and alter your mood or your energy level. But drugs are the ones that get into your mind, and just like nicotine don't really affect your brain, I don't think. Don't quote me on that because I don't know, but it does give you them cravings, for more nicotine. So drugs are one of the worst addictions you can have. I don't care if you're addicted to Skittles, unless you're a diabetic, and then you don't, then you have a problem there too. Um, so there are millions of people who have stood where you are now, starting their recovery journey, and they will be millions more after you. Um, you've been feeling stuck, broken, and unsure if anything would change, and they found a way out. Starting with this step. Um, I don't know if you guys have read the Big Book, but it's mostly about alcohol, but it pertains to the disease of addiction. Um, I'd say most of you have read it, or at least read the doctor's opinion and Bill's story. Um, so they they started all of this. They started this movement, and they got to where there was more and more people joining because these steps actually worked. Um, they were more in the alcohol range of it, but you can replace the word alcohol with substances or drugs, and it's the same concept. And if you're still unsure and part of you is resisting this, that's okay. That's fine. This step takes time. You don't have to force it. Actually, you don't force it, because if you're not ready for it and you try to force yourself to be ready for it, it's not going to work. Just be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what has addiction costed me? Um, Am I really in control? Can I manage my life like this, living like this? You sit with those questions. You don't have to have all the answers today, but eventually you will start to get the answers and see just just how much addiction has affected your life. Um, if you've already taken step one, don't forget, because sometimes we drift and forget the feelings that we had when we were at rock bottom. We just remember the good feelings we got from being high and think, well, I can do this now successfully because I've learned all these coping skills and I'm prepared for it now and I understand it better. Addiction is a silent, sleeping, waiting, lurking thing. And it will wait until it gets the chance to drag you back in. And then it's like you never quit. Like once you take that one drug or that one drink or whatever it is you're addicted to, it's like you never quit. And the craving comes back tenfold. I myself have not relapsed. I know people who have, and they say that it's just like instant that they're back to where they were. It didn't, you know how it takes a longer time. You slowly deteriorate when you first start doing it. But once you have that craving and you know that feeling, and it's just like it comes straight back to you, and it's like riding a bicycle. Um, Step one will be something that you come back to. It keeps you grounded and humble, and it keeps us honest with ourselves. Step one is the beginning where everything starts to shift from denial to honesty with ourselves, from isolation to getting back some control. Um, and then you surrender. And surrender is not losing, it's how we win this battle, like the warriors that we are. Um, if no one has told you today, I'm proud of you for even watching this, because I know I'm not the best at speaking and doing videos, but I want to help others that are struggling with the same thing that I was at one point. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else or anything like that. So don't take it the wrong way. I could relapse tomorrow. Who knows? You know, addiction is addiction. Um, if you have the disease of addiction and substance abuse, you're never out of the realm of relapsing. And it only takes one little thing, and you get that urge or whatever, and there you go, off again. It's addiction is powerful. It's you never fully have control over it, but you do get a little bit of control back once you learn the coping skills and everything that goes along with it. And the longer that you are clean, the longer clean time you have, you get to where you don't think about drugs as much. You don't want them. You don't need them. You know what I mean? But if you get around drugs, most of the time, if you're hanging around them, you're going to do it. But facing step one takes courage. Whether you have 24 hours or you've been in recovery for years, this step matters. You matter. Um, if this spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Um, Go ahead and hit that like, share button. Someone else might need to hear my awkward ass talk, and you never have to fight this alone. I know I have social anxiety really bad, so me doing this, I'm uncomfortable, but uncomfortable means you're growing. So I always tell myself that, even though I feel very uncomfortable, and I never feel like these videos are good enough to put on YouTube. Whether you have problems with just making excuses for yourself or holding yourself accountable, I want y'all to know that if you ever need me, my actual phone number is on the Sobriety Warriors page on Facebook. I will put the link to that in the description of this video. I just want y'all to know that you don't have to fight this alone. You can join my community on Facebook. I don't have that many followers and likes yet, but there's a few people on there that comment on my stuff every day. I would like to build it to where we talk and interact more with each other. But I will leave all these links to the things that I'm saying in the description of this video. Sometimes I live stream on Twitch just to get feedback from you guys and talk to you guys through Twitch, and give you guys support. I also started a GoFundMe project, and I'm trying to get it off the ground. I haven't actually started doing the efforts yet. I need help funding it. I started a GoFundMe. It's an outreach effort to help homeless people, who most homeless people have addiction problems. Not all homeless people have addiction problems, but most people who have addiction problems lose their home and end up homeless. Um, it's to help me buy things for them, like toiletries, hygiene products, food, and just go around and give a message of compassion and hope, and let them know that there's somebody out there thinking about them if they're in addiction. You don't have to donate. That's fine. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I'm not begging for you to do anything. It would just be nice to have some funds to help them. But if you do support my efforts, it would be greatly appreciated. I'll also put that link in the description, and it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for supporting me in all that I do. Stay beautiful and stay kind, and keep working on yourself daily, and keep fighting like the warrior you are. And I will see you in the next video, and it will be about step 2. And I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.